Hello there, friends. Yes, welcome. What is that? There we go. All right. I'll just. This is working beautifully, don't it? Let's join that. There we go. All right. Yes, welcome, friends. I'm just going to turn that off, and we're underway. All right. I'm going to paint this big bopper today. Try to anyway. He might be one of the few that falls under the 2-hour time slot. We'll see. But I was just looking up the artwork for him to see what his colours are. I think it's red, black, and orange fire. Do we want to make that orange fire green? Would that be interesting? Yeah, that could be interesting, I think. Alright. Okay, let's go. Last Party Monday stream of the year, friends. Probably, anyway. Hang on, which bits are red, did I? Which bits are red? Yeah, okay. Yes. Oh no. Anyway, yes, last Party Monday stream of the year. We won't have a Party Monday next week because it is actually Boxing Day. And likely will be the first day that Rocket gets back from her trip. So I'm likely going to spend that day with her. We'll see. She may be tired. She may be wanting to go to sleep early, but we will see. Aside from that, friends, it's been a pretty wild year. So let's spend tonight celebrating the good things that happened, of which I'm sure there were many. At some point, we'll figure some of them out. No, it was a pretty good year, from the perspective that I painted lots of models. I did another diorama. And played some magnificent board games this year. What a year. What a year. So Bucks is going to join me later on and we're going to review our best ofs. I've done no preparation, but that's okay. That's normally how I roll. This is a big model. This is a very big model. How cool. Alright, so I'm going to speak very, very briefly about the plans I have for a potential plans. I won't say they're concrete. The potential plans I have for a Marvel Crisis Protocol podcast, although I don't know if podcast is the right terminology. I think probably it would be better to call it a limited video series that will also be downloadable as a podcast. I will be potentially learning the game from two other very good players and talking to those players about the journey of learning to play and learning to play competitively in this game. So we'll use Tabletop Simulator, TTS, to point out some specific examples of the game and talk through those sort of situations. And that's the plans. I think it'd be good as a person coming into Marvel Crisis Protocol completely green. I feel like what exists for brand new players is quite thin on the ground. And that's not to say that this was intended to be, here is the rules, here is how you play the game, anything like that. More of a strategic, broad strokes approach to things. Anyway, it's an idea. We'll see if it gets off the ground. Got to get some people to do it with me. A couple of tra-la-las. That's how we dance the day away in the merry old land of Oz. A couple of doo-doo-dees. Hey, buddy. You guys having the time of his life tonight. Maybe that's what we should call it, the merry old land of Oz. That's a bad name for a Marvel Crisis Protocol podcast, but I'm just going to shelve that for the future. I'm sure there'll be something I can use that for. Like yesterday, after I got off stream, I painted one more model before I pulled up stumps for the day. But I watched The Avengers last night, which is the original one. Fuck, it still holds up pretty well. It's not a perfect film, but yeah, still holds up. And why did I watch that? I hear you say, well, just absolutely been vibing the MCP, and I've been reliving each of the earlier Marvel movies just so I can remember some of the cool heroes and the cool shit they do. One thing I've noticed painting all of these MCP models is, and they're a fan of the old primary colours in the comics, aren't they? Everything's primary colours. Red, blue or yellow. Wonder if there's a specific reason for that. Easier to recognise and see, maybe. Hey buddy. I think little mate wants me to fill up his Kong. Alright, I better do this or he's gonna fucking sit there and whinge for the next hour. Oh no, he's just rolled over. Today also marks the 1 month countdown for the Crimson Brush. And reminds me that I really better get cracking on some of the outstanding tasks that I have to do for it. So I'm looking forward to a little break over Christmas for a couple of reasons. The first, Aeon Trespass Odyssey turned up this week, and I've just started to do a little bit of unpacking and unboxing and all that sort of gear, but I'm pretty excited for it. It looks quite good. We'll see if it lives up to the same experience that I had with Kingdom Death, which was the first time I played it, I just couldn't get out of my head for a good solid month or two. I was just playing it all the time. Okay, let's go. Yeah, this brush is definitely on its last legs. We'll see if we can get through this guy. We're going to go with the very, very Christmas themed red and green, but we'll see if we can make it not look like Santa Claus with this version of Dormammu. However, I make no promises. Bum ba bum bum ba bum bum ba bum bum. Bum bum ba bum bum ba bum. I did manage to paint Hulk yesterday. I think I mentioned that. G'day, Jared. Here he is, the big green fella. Hulk smash. Buzz. He looks absolutely popping from about 2 feet away, which, as I've explained many times, is exactly what I'm trying to achieve out of a paint job for a board game as opposed to a figure for display. You don't need a board game figure to look good under the microscope of a painting desk lamp. You need it to look good on the table where you play it. So big bold contrast is significantly better. Significantly. Jared, 1 month to go till Crimson Brush, mate, and CanCon. That's the spirit. Excellent. I look forward to seeing it. And continuing to inspire you every day. I hit 80% of my Marvel Crosses Protocol collection painted this weekend. 80%. Pleasing number. We'll be more pleased when it's 100. Is it a big one, Jared? Is it a big diorama? I hope so. Reach for the stars, mate. Reach for the stars. Oof, 7 models. Look out, mate, you're coming for me, eh? What are your mates from fucking Cult of Paint think? They think you're a fucking lunatic? That's cool, man. I have to say that, as I'm sure you've realised, there's big efforts in putting together something like that. Big efforts. Sometimes it's not the big sweeping design parts or anything like that. It's just a little grind. It's just grinding away, continuing to keep painting the fucking thing. That's what gets you. Yeah. Just work. It's huge amounts of work. I'm glad there's someone who feels my pain. But at the same time, sitting back at the end of it and basking in the completed project, there is very few feelings that will match that, I think. Looking at something that you've just willed into reality. Shaped by your demands. That's a pretty satisfying feeling. Alright, I think I'm going to deviate from the... Yep. Well, I know I'm looking forward to finishing off another one early next year. Go Scarabost. You can do it. With loyal friends running beside me. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women. Hear the lamentation of the women. Crom, where is the wizard who killed my mother? Ooh, I can recall his terrible gaze. And if you do not listen, then to hell with you. To hell with you. Does everyone know what I'm singing there? If you don't, I'm going to link it for you in about 2 seconds, and I just promise you it's one of those joyous things on the internet that you just need to see. Oh. I'm just, enjoy that. I'm just going to watch it on here, but I'm going to mute the microphone so you all don't hear it.
Hear the lamentation
of the women. What a magnificent song. That's going to be in my head for fucking days now. Come, where is the wizard who killed my mother? True, I've never prayed to you before. It's just one of those wondrous things on the internet, mate, that you just need to see in your life. I've got a few of them. It's not a real musical, in case you're thinking it's a real musical. It's just some fucking legends on the internet. Where is the wizard who killed my mother? I'm just going to point out something I'm doing here that I know some people think is weird. But so I don't wait for the layer beneath to fully dry, in some instances, before I start doing some highlights. I just feel like you can use that layer that's still not dry to just blend things in. Maybe I can zoom in a bit and see if that'll. Weekend at Obi's. Isn't that the one where? Is that the Obi-Wan Kenobi Weekend at Bernie's thing? Yeah. It's a form of a variation of wet blending, I guess. What I'm talking about here, where you just get to tweak things about.
Good evening, mate.
Ah, if it isn't young Andrew.
If it isn't young Andrew. How you going?
I'm going pretty well, mate. I'm pretty excited that we are nearing the close of this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Actually, I spoke to Benny and Storm yesterday and tried to convince them to come and join us tonight to do our review.
Yeah.
As they were with us last year, if you remember. We were all together when we did it, so...
I didn't remember that, but fair enough. Good for them. And are you going to join us, or are they going to be soft?
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. All right.
We'll see.
Well, welcome, buddy. I was talking about our plans for this evening and the fact that I've done zero preparation for it, but you know, I can.
Well, I've done some, and that's thankfully because I caught a part of your stream yesterday where you're like, "Yeah, Bucksy and I will be doing this." I'm like, we are? Excellent. Well, then I realised the time, and I was like, "Yep, that makes about sense." And we won't be streaming on Monday night because that's Boxing Day night.
Yep. It was your idea, I'd like to point out.
It is, yeah, it is my idea to do an end of review. I think it's good to do. I think it's good to reflect back on the year that was. Some of the things we've enjoyed painting ourselves, some of the things we've enjoyed painted by our friends and from everyone around the world, and then also some of our favourite sculpts and what companies have done, and then probably we'll just have a bit of a ramble about how much we love MCP right now. That'll probably happen too.
Yeah, that's all I said. I don't know if you heard before, I was talking about just a potential limited video series / podcast series that I'm going to do with Leaps and Azza on MCP. Awesome. Just tossing that up at the moment, so we'll see.
Fantastic.
We're going to pitch it as like a teaching Deno to play series, so we'll sort of use it as a way to talk about fundamentals and of games and stuff like that, and then specifically link it back to MCP. We'll see if it gets off the ground, but maybe it will.
Oh, who's going to do it? Moots and who?
No, me, Leaps and Azza, two of the Perth guys.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice.
All right, cool. Well, I'm just painting. What are you painting? We might just turn your camera on.
Yeah, I didn't have enough time to set up my other camera tonight, so it's just me. But I will be painting Beast and Mystique over the next 24 hours.
X-Men.
Yeah, all about the blue right now.
Tricky. You pick some tricky models to do blue on.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're both blue, right? So I finished Sabretooth and Toad over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And then I finished all my Inhumans last week, including Miss Marvel. I'm not sure if you saw those ones. I could bring them out later, maybe. I'd have to set up my camera.
Nah, don't worry about setting up your camera. Just have you posted pictures in anywhere? Or?
Posted just some pictures of Sabretooth and one like group shot of the Inhumans. Oh, I sent you the group shot of the Inhumans.
Yeah.
Well done. Actually, I did do that.
Actually, I did see your Sabretooth in the dirty paint water. Now that you mention it,
Nice.
beautiful. It's a good model to paint, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a better model to paint than one to photo, I feel.
Yeah, really hard
Your
to photo.
photo's a bit weird, actually.
Yeah, really hard.
I don't know if you thought that.
No, he's hard to photo for sure. Fun to paint.
So yeah. Also, hello to everyone who's in chat. Hello. Yeah, so I had a lot of fun painting him. I actually had a lot of fun painting Toad. I'll send you an image of Toad now.
Yep.
He's got a bit of a cooked face as well, actually. I've had a bit of a series of run of cooked faces recently.
Yeah.
If I was going to level any criticisms at sculpts for Marvel Crisis Protocol, it's probably the face department. But I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that they're doing 40mm, but it's not heroic scale.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of space to milk the face, you know, put an extra water detail in there. What do you think of that?
Yeah, concur. They're nice models, but they are small. You feel the size, the scale.
Yeah, they're weird because they're a bigger scale than Warhammer,
Yeah.
or most other tabletop games. But yeah, without it being heroic, it feels like they're kind of like large Lord of the Rings models almost.
Yeah.
I think I put him in voice chat.
Crom, where is the wizard who killed my mother?
Yeah, what were you listening to before? It was just some
I've
Conan
heard-
stuff, right?
Have you seen it, the Conan the Musical?
No.
Oh, God, all right. Oh, post it. Oh, yeah, nice. Oh, you love your little spatters of green, don't you, dickhead?
I haven't used it in ages. Come on now. I just thought, you know what? Gotta put a Buxy Classic in.
A little bit of bucks, Yeah, just check the chat in the thing, Twitch, and just scroll up like two things. You'll see my.
Oh yeah, I heard the song. I was muted and I heard the majority of it. I didn't realise it was Conan the Musical though. I just thought it was like some random person singing Conan lyrics.
No, it's Conan the Musical, but it's not a real musical. It's just made up, but it's fucking cool.
Yeah. Hey, what do you like to mix into blues? I reckon you probably used a similar colour blue that I used. Did you use the sky blue from Scale?
For what?
For like Beast and mainly Beast actually. Beast is probably the most tricky, right? Because he's just like as blue as it comes.
I've been vibing the AK blues, so I was all about Ducat blue and Star blue. I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did talk about that last time, didn't we? I don't have those ones, so maybe I'll give the ultramarine blue a go from the new Chimera.
Yeah.
I've cracked the new Chimera paints, by the way. I've cracked them.
All right.
They have a good chunk of them don't have very good coverage.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, they're like a 2-layer paint, right?
Yep.
Put the first layer down, you're like, oh my god, this is the worst. Put the second layer down, you're like, oh, delicious.
Yep.
And there's a colour in there that there's not a colour really quite like it, and it's the royal brown.
Royal brown. Yeah, I was just about to say royal brown. It's the only one I've got.
Quality colour.
On standby. Hello there, Nal Sack. Thank you for the subscription, you champion.
Quality colour on that one, I will say.
It is a rock solid colour. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe we need to also do a little sneaky little review of our favourite colours this year. I'm into putting a bit of turquoise and a little bit of teal into blue these days as well.
Yeah, you like some weird shit, man.
I do, don't I? I'm a bit weird like that. I pick some weird colours to mess around with.
Oh, but it looks good most of the time. Better than some of the dross I've been turning out recently.
Mate, you are on a mission. We're on different mission paths, right? Like, so I spend roughly 5 hours on each model. You spend 2 hours, right?
Or less.
Yeah. So if we do the math, I've currently painted about 25 pieces. And how many have you painted? About 80 on, yeah?
Yeah, it's just ticked over 80.
So the math's pretty good on that, right? If you had slowed down to 5 hours on each one, you'd be roughly at about the same that I've done.
Yeah.
So we're living embodiment of you can choose speed and you can literally have, you know, and that's nothing to sneeze at. You can choose speed and you can have the whole of the Marvel Crisis Protocol range done in roughly 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I reckon I could, had I purchased the whole range, which I have not.
Yeah.
Paint the whole range in 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm going to paint 100.
And that's no table because you're not going to include that in that. Just figures done.
Yeah.
But 2 months to have a whole game completed at the size and scale of Marvel, like that's a really solid feat. And then I think if we talk about turning that into what kind of value you get out of that, right? Like, because I mean, well, we talk about all the time, we do this for fun, yeah?
Yeah.
This is what we do for fun. The painting is fun, sure. Maybe the painting at that speed is less about fun and more about just kicking back in a bit of a flow state.
Well, I think that's fun as well, though. Just like,
yeah, that's a good point.
Because it's not.
But your payoff is like, well, I can have my gaming group come around and we can play Marvel Crisis Protocol and they can play anything they want. They can play literally anything they want.
Yeah.
Well, that's already going to lean into more immersion and people getting more involved, right? Because there's more opportunity for people to find something they like. So you're already winning there. If you get the kick off the completionist sort of vibe, you get that as well. And then and then for you, as a more of a competitive player, you've got every opportunity to play and enjoy every faction. So I don't know, man. I think there's perks of doing it both ways.
The thing I keep telling myself is, if I want to go back and do like a better job, I can. There's nothing stopping me because I'll just pick up the models and tweak a little bit, and
Yeah, and do you want to know what's real funny?
What?
The irony is, the thing that I keep telling myself is, while I'm playing games, why the fuck did I spend so much time with that guy? I can't even see him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even looking at him when I'm playing the game. He just sort of represents something. So it's funny, isn't it?
Well, when you think about it, this hobby in general is pretty fucking funny. Like,
it's a bit cooked, isn't it?
We're spending hundreds of hours just painting little dudes that exist usually 4 feet away from our fucking faces.
Yeah. The scale is the thing that cooks me a lot of the time when I think about display painting, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I guess there's this conversation that's been circulating for a long time about miniature art being considered more of an art form than what it is.
Yeah.
And maybe gaining more respect for for being an art form rather than being a hobby or being a craft. And it's always the scale that like kind of cooks me when I'm like trying to understand it from, I guess, the other side of art's perspective on what we do. And I'm like, maybe it's the scale, maybe it's because it's just so small, But then again, some people are really impressed by the scale. They're like, oh my God, that's so small. You can do that with something that small? I don't know.
A lot of good sex jokes to be made there, but I'll leave them slide.
Yeah. You get what I mean, though, don't you?
Yeah, I like to think about our hobby as an art form, but there's certainly people who would disagree that that's the case.
Yeah. But
then, how many of those people have seen Kirill Knave's work or Pizarski? So it's an interesting.
The key question always with art is like art is really like at the core fundamental of art. It's to make you sort of it's to open a dialogue between the creator and the viewer, right? Like that's at the center of what art really is. And that's why it can be art can be such a massive interpretation. because what doesn't speak to me might speak to you and to people in the chat and so on and so forth. And so I think, and you ask people in the miniature painting community if they see it as art, most of the people do. Although I do stop and ask myself at times, does this make me feel something when I look at it? You know what I mean? And that does impact how much I like something or don't like something. It's usually that weird, untangible. Fuck, we're going deep already. Jesus Christ!
You've gone.
It's usually that untangible, right? That like when you're at a show and you see everyone's work, and then there's like those whatever it is that's going to reach out and grab you. When it first reaches out and grabs you, you don't quite know why it's reached out and grabbed you. It just has, and then it takes time standing in front of it to sort of understand that. So. Maybe that's the issue when the rest of the art world sort of peers into our small little corner, our little basement hobby, you know what I mean? They just doesn't hit for them the way it hits for us.
Yeah, you've gone real deep real quick.
We can back up.
No, let's go. Let's lean in.
Yeah. All right.
The art side of miniature art is the difference, and I think the difference that real artists think is art is created for no purpose other than the act of expression, the act of creation, whereas miniatures will always have an element of this is for something.
Yeah. Which is why it gets often put in with crafting, right? It's a craft versus a art style or art form.
So, and it's sort of hard for me to disagree with that, because the majority of what people are doing with miniatures is painting stuff for something, for a game, for a function. But then the world of display painting is just a completely different kettle of fish. So I guess, how do we expand people's perspectives on what miniature art is? I might just have to be a little distracted because Rocket's just texted me to say that her flight to Reykjavik has been cancelled because of a snowstorm. So she's flipping out a bit.
She's freaking out a bit? Yeah. Yeah, well, Deno handles that. What are the thoughts in the chat? Like, what are people thinking? So I think it's two parts to what Deno said. I think that the act of creation is an important element to art, but I think that the act of communication through creation is actually pivotal. Art is about can't be just solely about creating, but it's about the message that's put forward through the creation, right? So some of I think the most famous pieces of art have been commentaries on society, politically or economically or religious, Yeah, even display painting is somewhere between art and craft and trade. Yep, I'd agree with that.
Crazy snowstorms.
Yeah, so what's the go? They've cancelled it. They've cancelled her flight. She's just got to sit in the airport and wait.
Well, they're not sure that she's going to be able to get another flight. She was only going there for like 3 or 4 days. So
yeah.
The bad weather's persisting for most of the week. So she's actually probably just going to have to find somewhere else to stay for the next 3 days.
In London?
In London or Wales or somewhere.
Yeah.
And but it's actually probably not a bad thing because,
well, yeah, if it's dangerous.
Well, if it's dangerous, but also if the cancellation is a concern, she wouldn't be able to get back in time for potentially a flight home. So maybe for the best.
All right, what's Jared got for us? It's an interesting topic. Do you have to be a certain level of paid to be considered an artist, like a profession? Well, we had this conversation the other day, right? Very briefly, I asked the question, what constitutes being a professional? And people said you had to be paid for it. And then I went away and I thought about that. And then I thought about okay, well, let's take randomly people who work in game shops who have to paint toy soldiers for that part of their job. They're paid. That's a part of their job. Are they considered a professional artist then, or not? So I think it actually stems a lot deeper than that. Personally, I don't think that just being paid constitutes being a professional at anything. Yeah, but that's how they earn their living, I think that there has to be a level of mastery involved in being a professional as well, right? That you have to reach an elite stage, which we often assign a monetary value to that, right? Like whether they're athletes or, that's probably the only other one I can sort of think about where it's like that you get real good at something. A tradesman is probably another good one as well. You get real good at something and then you're paid for it accordingly.
The difference in that situation, Bucks, is the professional artist is creating that for the express purpose of art. Whereas,
very true, right? They're not actually creating to make the money.
Whereas the person who's working in a shop and paints models is, not. They're not doing it for the purpose of creating art. They're doing it for the purpose of getting money. There's so many facets to this discussion, right? Like,
yeah, it's a deep conversation, right? Like it's definitely not a linear conversation, I think. And I can see it from Az's perspective as well. Like, I agree that when you start to factor in other duties and other facets of your job, that then, or the job, we'll say, it then, brings it into question a little bit more. But I think, like, even for... Yeah, the display painting guilds had many a chat and no one settled on this topic. Yeah, I mean, it's because miniature painting, right? Miniature painting's been around for ages, like ages, right? But it's also not, in a way. Like it's like we're probably on the forefront right now, the last sort of 25, 30 years of I think a new art style emerging, or a new medium for art emerging. And just like many mediums of art that came before it, you've kind of got to, if you want to be taken seriously, you've actually just got to kick the door in, and it's probably not going to be us that it gets taken seriously for, but it'll be the people that come after us. Do I think if it hits an art gallery, it will get the exposure it deserves? Yeah, for sure it would. But I actually don't think that an art gallery, like, I think what actually has to happen is that people like us have to actually just do that for ourselves.
Roman Lepard's done that. Roman Lepard's done that. He's had his stuff on display in a gallery.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, fascinating thoughts. To dial back to the core question, what constitutes a professional artist? Is it someone who makes a living from it? Is it someone... I think what makes a professional artist is someone who believes that they are a professional artist.
Yeah, I think that that's probably a safe place to land it, because how many professional artists that we absolutely fawn over in this day and age made not a dollar off their art when they were living.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Which is actually a fascinating, sidelight. Miniature painters. There's many miniature painters that do it professionally as a career.
For sure.
So,
there's two careers though. There's two careers, isn't there?
But is being a professional artist a more viable avenue as a miniature painter?
Well, I guess the thing is right now, you would have to say well, leading into where I was going, I think there are two main job roles available. Well, and then circulating job roles around it. But you're either painter for a company, right?
Yep.
Miniature painting. So you're either a studio painter, or and then we'll say with the studio painter comes everything that comes around a studio painter. So a big enough studio would have a director, a head of the team, someone responsible for, deadlines and products being painted and design and all sorts of stuff. So you'd have plenty of jobs around it. Or you're a self-employed solo act who is selling commissions, right?
Yep. Or you're a little from column A, a little from column B.
Yeah, true. Or you're a commission painter in which you're self-employed and you just take jobs from community to paint their toys for them. Which I think that one is the hardest route to go down, and probably the most turbulent, right? Is that the right word to use, maybe?
Tumultuous, turbulent, yeah.
Yeah, you just don't have a lot of job security, right?
Yeah. This becomes even more of a fraught decision to take on the option for full-time professional artists with the advent of AI art. And it was interesting. I was reflecting the other day. At this point in time, AI art can't replace miniatures. Does that create a niche for us? Where
that's a great point. I'd never even thought about that. That's huge. Like AI can't do what we do.
Well, yet.
Right? Because you
3D printers exist.
AI to a 3D printer, and
3D printers exist. So could an AI art be made to create a 3D model from nowhere, from other inspiration and sources, and then turn it into a fully painted figure? Absolutely. In the future, I'm sure that will happen. That feels like it's a long way away to me, but I'm not really familiar with 3D printing technology to be able to say that with any level of certainty.
Yeah, but you know what? This is the thing that's always... So we can tie this now to some actions that happened within the miniature painting world that failed, right? So Conflict 47, was it? Was that the game that Rackham went on to make? Is that what it's called? When they went to the full pre-painted provided kits?
Yeah, I don't think that was the name of it, but yeah, exactly. I know the one, yeah.
Yeah. So, thinking that was going to be a market, but it turns out that without the ability to build and paint and put yourself into the model, people are much less interested, right?
Yeah.
It's why board games now don't provide a lot of their pieces painted, right? Because it's another part of the hobby, the practice that appeals to people. It's a selling point to your game. So I think we might be safe in that space, right?
Potentially, as Azatov just said, there's been forms of artwork like that, but on the whole, I think the accessibility of 3D printers, what they are now, the accessibility of AI art is you can go to a website and do it pretty much straight away. The accessibility of getting a 3D printer that could do what we're talking about is many, many years off.
Yeah, well, the first thing we have to do is get... Like, it feels right now where we're at with 3D printers is like 1996 PC boom, right?
Yeah.
3D printers are slowly making their way into everyone's homes. The ones that move fast will be the ones that are out ahead. They'll have a better understanding of it, but that understanding might just be useless because they're moving so quickly that, like, they're going to be able to just be plug and use, right? Within the next probably 5 years. If you think about the jumps that 3D printers have made in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You think about how quickly a new 3D printer is released, even from just the same company,
yeah.
Right? It just reminds me very much of, like, what IBM and Dell in the mid-90s being like, you know, you remember when you walked into like a Myer or whatever the place, and they had like PC specialists there who were there to teach you how to buy your first computer, you know, and they're like, do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this? And just, 3D printing reminds me of that right now.
Yep.
And it's because it's the same as like, do you remember people saying things like, I don't even know why you're getting a computer. You just don't need one. You know what I mean? There's no use for it at home. You don't need a computer at home. I think even didn't the director or CEO of IBM once say there'll be no need to have computers in people's homes? Like, I think there's a famous saying surrounding that, like from the 70s or something like that. So.
I'll tell you a little story about my sister. So my sister's got 3 kids, and my brother-in-law is really, really smart guy. He's a computer programmer, and he works for a whole variety of different companies, writing code and stuff. And they made a decision that they were not going to send the kids to traditional schools because, in their opinion, by the time they finish schooling, which is 15 years away, everything that they will have learnt at school will basically be irrelevant because the majority of those jobs, those roles will be automated. And their opinion is that in the future it will be the creative pursuits, the creative side of humanity that will be where humans get employment from, because menial tasks will be...
We don't need to lift things or build houses anymore. We can print it all.
Yep. Now, it's a bold move, Cotton.
It's definitely a bold move.
We'll see if it pays off for them.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
I mean, I guess it doesn't factor in all of the other really important skills that kids learn from going to school. But you can also supplement that with other things, right?
Well, they have a really cool homeschooling group that they go to and spend time with, and the kids are well socialised, and
and they're the key things.
Yeah, they're smart kids too, which is fortunate for them. But it was such an interesting conversation to have that with my parents. I was present, but I didn't participate. They were basically explaining why they decided not to send their kids to school. And my parents are obviously of the generation where your kids go to school and they get to school and they get a fucking job, and that's your life, that's your lot. So having them explain to my parents why they weren't doing that was a really interesting conversation. Now, I don't know that I would be brave enough to make that decision.
Yeah, I certainly wasn't brave enough to make that decision with my daughter. And I was someone who the schooling system did not fit. You know what I mean? So I have many things that make me not fit into a school environment very well. And even then, I still sort of, I guess, chose to put my daughter into that. So it's an incredibly brave choice to make. It's also about taking on a massive level of responsibility with your kids, right?
Correct. But the one thing she said in response to that, when my parents said, well, like, you can't fucking do it, she said, do you think there is anyone in the world who will care more about my children's future than me?
Yeah.
Will there ever be a teacher that cares more about my children's future than me? So I mean, they're both, the two that are old enough, they're both voracious readers, right? They're always reading. They're just like reading all the time. So we'll see what happens in the future. I mean, I hope they're right. I hope they haven't set their kids up to fail, but
that's the thing, is there is no such thing as right when it comes to raising children. It's such a common statement, right?
Yeah.
But there is no right. Like, you can do what you think is all the right things and it doesn't work out. You can do all the wrong things and it does work out, like, how many kids do you hear who came from absolutely nothing, with parents who were not interested in raising them, to go on to be incredibly successful, young individuals. Like, it's just, you do your best and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
I think the key is to create strong safety nets around your kids so that they can try things and fail, and know that you'll always be there to support them. You love them unconditionally, and that's about it, mate. They're only going to be a kid for 20 years of their however long life. They're going to be an adult much longer than they're a kid. So,
You certainly hope so.
indeed.
Yeah, so it's a fascinating time, and that was a bit of a divergence from our other conversation,
From our deep art convo, yeah.
But yeah, the reason that we sort of got onto that is just technology continues to move at such a rapid pace that it's hard to say. I'm fascinated by this whole AI art thing. Like, I see artists blowing up deluxe about it on
Oh yeah, man. There's a lot of artists threatened. There's no two ways about it, right?
And they're right to feel that way, and they're right to blow up. But as a person whose profession is not reliant on the stuff that I've studied, or the craft that I've been honing for 20 years, like my livelihood does not depend on what I do, what I'm doing right now.
But if you could make a reliable income, let's say the exact same income that you're making right now, off what you love to do, would you? With the same security, like just port it all across, everything comes through?
No, we've talked about that. Why? But but what I'm fascinated by is this AI art situation, because I just think it's such an amazing. Like, it's amazing, mate. Like, the internet is pulling data from all of these points and fusing it together. Now, that's incredible. So I understand and acknowledge that artists are feeling threatened, and that's not it's not correct what's happening. That artists should be able to opt in. That copyright theft and blah blah blah. But just look at what it's doing. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, like, look. I mean, the interesting thing about it is, like, it is all of the things you said. Now, does for me at this point, and I'm someone who I'll say right now, like, my opinion is ever growing and ever changing with the more knowledge I gain over my life, right? So what I think today, I might not think tomorrow. Right now, without having an element of like a human element that is a part of the creative process outside of the code writing for the program to perform what it is, which in itself, in that space, is incredibly creative. I don't take anything away from that. But without having the adversity that one goes through when creating art evident in the art being created, for me at this point in time, I can't consider it to be art. Now, I'm going to counter myself immediately with, but if the art that has been made by an AI is able to make people feel things and open a dialogue with the viewer, then that goes against it, and it should be then potentially considered as art.
It's so interesting to me. It's so interesting to me. I don't say that because I want to see professional artists no longer have a career, or the respect that I have for people that have spent years and years honing their craft. Look at us, we've been doing this for 20 plus years, and I think about something. It's not a direct parallel, right? Because it's not a job, and we don't need it for our livelihoods. But I imagine someone coming and taking away my ability to do this, I would find that threatening and not great. But
yeah, that would, if I couldn't do this thing that for whatever reason Andrew has decided to do with his time in his life, that would be devastating. You know what I mean? That would be a devastating thing. Like, I could pretend and sit here and pretend, oh yeah, no worries, I'll move on and find something else to do with my time. And you know what? Eventually I probably would. But losing a part of yourself, like, we talk about never making things too close to your identity, but although we are diverse in our interest in this hobby and we move around and do lots of different things, the hobby itself is a part of our identity, right?
Well, I've had several reflections on if I have a car accident and I lose the use of my hands or something, I'm going to be fucking depressed. I'm going to be really fucking depressed, but not because I can't do, but because I can't paint models, because I can't do the thing that's given me so much joy over the last
Yeah.
25
I think
years
that's
of my
been
life.
there for you in like just the ups and downs of your existence, right?
Yeah.
Like it's always been there.
Yeah.
You know, it's the equivalent. It's the equivalent of you know being a 1980s NFL player who does his ACL. You know,
Yeah.
like you just lose everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Mole Man, they should be worried about the bloke that throws a pickle at the ceiling or tapes a banana to a wall and sells it for 100k. Listen, man, if someone wants to spend 100k on that, then props to the artist who made 100k off that. You know, like that's awesome.
Yeah, you can't stop stupid people, can you?
Yeah, if stupid people want to give you lots of money for something like that, then you know it's usually really smart stupid people as well. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, Bud. I couldn't even have a conversation about it at this point. I'd have to go and have a look at it. I won't even pretend to know anything
So
about that.
knowing what we've sort of seen about AI art now, and linking it back into that conversation, maybe not even the creative pursuits are a safe place to pursue
Yeah.
a career, right? It's just we live in a fascinating time, and
We could end up in this real deep space where, like, well, do humans even need to spend their time working anymore? Like, can they just? What happens if we don't have to work to earn, to live, to love and exist? You know what I mean? You know, what happens if we can just spend our time like following pursuits we're interested in rather than
yep.
you know? Do we grow faster as a human race, or do we need diversity in order to? Sorry, adversity, like you know. Economy to keep us moving forward. All conversations for much smarter people than me, my friend.
Absolutely. I mean, I think capitalism, not capitalisation, capitalism is failing.
Yeah.
And we're going to see it continue to decline over the next however many years. But what replaces it? Who knows? Who knows?
Get us on that. Like anyone who's listening who's in a position of power, just get us on the 4-day working week. Let's start now, right? I've got a lot of toys to pack and a lot of time to spend with my friends playing games.
I'm in for the 4-day working week.
Get me on the 4-day, you know?
Make it happen, whoever's listening.
Yeah.
Do I like that? No, I don't. I'm going to change that to green. Oh, look, there was a time in the past when I would have said I'm a very smart man, and I don't feel that way anymore.
No. I've never felt like a smart man. I think I have an education in a place that's good enough to get you through living. You know what I mean? And I got my education a different way to most.
You were raised to the school of hard knocks.
A very turbulent life as a young fella, and that. Yeah, the school of hard knocks. I wasn't going to say it because it's lame, but yeah, I'm certainly not. When it comes to book smarts, that's not me.
Yeah, probably 10 years ago I would have said, yeah, I'm a very intelligent man. I can hold my own in any conversation with anyone. The older I get, the less I realise I know. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah. I was really dumb, and maybe that's just wisdom.
Well, that's the thing, right? Smart people, really smart people, are smart enough to know that they don't really know much.
Yeah.
And really stupid people think they know a lot.
Yeah. The older I get,
smart people know so much about a topic that they're like, oh man, yeah, I know nothing. Like, I've dedicated my whole life to this, and I really don't know that much.
Wisdom is knowing that you are how little you know.
Yeah. Wisdom is just saying to yourself, you're not it, champ. You're about 10% shitter than you think you are.
Wisdom is knowing how little you know. And I am definitely aware of how little I know at the moment.
Yeah.
But the older I get, the easier I find it conversing with people from all different walks of life. So,
yeah.
and how much more I appreciate it. Thank you, Mole Man. Yes, Dormammu is coming along. He's coming along okay. What are we at now? 1 hour 17.
You're allowed to spend a little bit more time on him, mate. He's a big boy.
He's a big boy, I'll tell you that much. He is a big boy. But yeah, I don't think we'll be spending too much.
The older you get, the more you literally forget, like straight up, 100%. The more I realise, my rig ain't so great.
The thing that gets to me as I'm getting older is, man, the amount of chicks that I missed out on chopping up. Just regrets.
You missed your peak time.
Oh, there was one situation which I just look back on and I realise now that chick was just frothing for Big Deno, and Big Deno just missed every signal.
Missed it all.
Oh, I had no idea.
I mean, you know that, like, for every one of those that you have become aware of, there's probably 10 or 15 that you just completely missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, life.
Oh well, maybe there's a ledger when it's all said and done, mate, and you just have to face it.
Yeah.
All the things you got wrong in your life. Fuck, mate, my list is literally going to be it's going to be longer than my actual life itself. I did make a great choice on life, though, so that was good.
You did?
Pat myself on the back for that one.
Wish I did. No.
That was a good bit right there, wasn't it?
Thank you. I have no regrets about that choice. That was a good choice.
Yeah.
I have other regrets, but well. Oh, did you see this? Chica tell me she didn't have anywhere to stay that night.
The big green man.
The big
Very
man.
good.
Thank you. As a tough, I feel for you, mate. This chick was staying in my room and we were talking about boobs and she said, "Do you want to see mine?" And I said, "Yes." And I looked at them, I said, "They're great." And then I rolled over and went to sleep.
Respectful Dedo.
Oh, dear.
Thank you for showing me the tids. I'm going to go to bed now. It's been a pleasure. All I hear there is that you're a modern man.
What a wonderful moment of my life. I look back on it and I go, that is just one of life's great wasted opportunities.
So, in preparation for our conversation about a year that's passed, this is as far as my preparation got.
Yeah.
I opened up a website from Hera, Big Child, Ignis, Spira, Neko, Inu,
Okay.
Champions of Zona, Burr, Aradia, or Aranea, however you like it, Black Crow, Carl Rudick, Black Sun. Have you got any more for me that I forgot?
No. I was like 17, man. I was young and stupid. And there was some other factors there, but yeah, it was a huge mistake. Huge mistake when I look back on it.
I mean, huge mistake.
All right, here's my.
Question, before we move on, did you absolutely love Arrested Development? I feel like you would have loved Arrested Development.
It's okay.
Oh, just okay.
Yeah, I didn't get into it. My brother-in-law loves it, and he's like, "Oh, Dino, you love it. You got to watch it." And I haven't ever really clicked on it. So I'm going to try it again soon. See if I can enjoy it some more. All right, here's to give us some structure to our madness. Here's the things that we need to talk about. Number 1, best figure released this year. Number 2, best figure painted this year. Number 3, painter of the year.
Yep.
And number 4, company of the year. That's it. Any you want to add?
Yep, we'll add our favourite model that we painted this year.
Yep.
And we'll add our favourite model that our friends have painted this year for,
Done.
If that pops up. Happy with that?
Done.
Excellent.
Let's start.
All right.
Let's start with favourite Favourite model that friends painted. That's a nice, easy one.
Favourite models that friends painted this year.
Yep.
For what have you got?
Scroll my Instagram, mate. That's a fucking long list.
Yeah.
I got,
Favourite models that friends painted this year. Okay.
I got an easy answer for yours.
Yeah.
The Spartan.
Oh, yeah. That's your answer though. That's not like that's your favourite model though. Yeah. So what was your? So my Spartan was one of your favourite models of our friends painting this year. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. The good thing about this one is that there's multiples. Like it's not just one, right?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, mate.
So you painted this year. I think you painted this year. So what I really liked from Trent this year, I liked your Rahel. I think that you started off the year really strong with her.
Yep.
I really like your. I really liked your Hunter Orc.
Yep.
I quite liked your almost one-day paint on the FER historical that you did.
Yep.
I really enjoyed the vampire, the Calvary vampire that's red in the diorama. I thought you did that exceptionally well.
Yep.
So there was some ones for you. For David, for DC, I really loved the orc that he painted.
Orange skin.
The orange skin orc.
Yeah. Easy.
That's probably my favourite thing from DC this year. I'd have to go back and look because DC actually has painted a fair bit of stuff this year.
No, the orange orcs is best by a country mile.
But it is his best, but it's also what I enjoy. I really enjoyed his Marvel chibis that he did too.
Yep. Yeah, he did some good chibis.
For Benny and Storm, I think for Storm, I actually quite like her Labyrinth piece.
Mm-hmm.
For Benny, I enjoy his Sheep Rider. I'm trying to think who else from our immediate sort of circle of friends who we see. For Jared, I think I'd have to see it in the hand, but I think his Carol Rudick Vampire is one of the better things that he's done.
Bunny's Pink Yawa. Benny's probably Benny's latest piece. Actually, I think that's the best thing he's painted this year.
The Hunter, the one that he's just done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jared, I'm partial to his big diorama.
Yeah. I'm trying to think anyone that's like our immediate sort of. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm happy to leave that there.
Yep. Good. I can't believe fucking old mate didn't get a look in.
Who?
Fucking Hyperborea.
Hyperborea, it's that I don't know, man. It just lives in a different place.
I get what you're saying. They really do.
They don't live in the same, like they're not in my mind like that. It's the same as like when Hyperborea was at QMHE.
Yeah.
It's almost like you separate it from the whole event and just put it on a display. You know what I mean? Be like, and Trent did this. Like, does this need to be given awards in order to acknowledge its majesty?
No.
Probably not. You know? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Like until 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people are doing that, and you're all going to the same thing, and then it's on like Donkey Kong, you know?
Yeah.
Which, you know, some people are coming through. Like
Jared.
Like Jared.
He's got the eyes on the big fella. He's keen.
He does.
He's chasing.
Hey, listen, you didn't even give my Uther a look in, mate. And I'm pretty sure, you know.
The Uther was good, mate, but the Spartan blew me away. First time I saw it, I was like, holy shit. You know what my reaction was when I saw the Spartan.
Yeah. It was, look at you, dickhead, you broke the spear the moment you got it.
That's true, I did say that.
Yeah. Yeah, the Spartan really, really did it for you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, so we can move on from friends. What was your own personal favourite that you did this year, mate?
Hyperborea for sure. Yeah.
Hyperborea?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Uh,
Was there a particular duel in Hyperborea that you think was the best?
yeah, the jumping chick and the dude who I thought I was going to hate painting.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so the real big guy.
Yeah,
the big
but also
guy.
the polar bear.
Oh, no, the big armor guy.
Yeah, the big armor guy. But the polar bear
Well,
was really, really
you got
good.
such a good photo of that too.
Yeah. The polar bear came out awesome too, so.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to say probably my gift for Jim is one of my most favourite things that I've painted this year.
The dwarf?
The dwarf. Yeah, I really like him. I think everyone will enjoy him. Also, my little sad robot I actually really enjoyed. My Roman Lepart style robot. You remember that little guy?
Yep.
With like all of the overgrown stuff and the tree and the birds and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was cool as well. All right, now that we've got all of our ego juice out of the way,
Yeah.
let's go and talk about our favourite painted model of the year.
Albert Moretto font, goblin on a squig.
Excellent. A very recent one as well.
Blew my brain. Continues to blow my brain every time I look at it.
Yeah, it's imprinted on you, so that's usually a really good sign. I'm just going to quickly jump into my saved on my Instagram and see what I've got. I see such an incredible amount of miniatures and paint jobs that it's very easy to have it all blur into one. It has to be from this year.
Well, defeats the purpose if it's not.
All right. I'm going to lean into one of my absolute most favourite artists, maybe my most favourite, Rodrigo.
Yeah.
His Zion and whatever he's called from the Champions of Sona.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my most favourite things this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Model of the year. Your favourite model of the year. That's a tricky one.
Favourite sculpt of the year.
Yeah.
All right, now we can go over companies. That's easy.
This one's been a bit of an interesting one for me because I have not bought too many models this year.
No.
I've really dialed back on the figure purchasing.
Well, we can go one step further with this one. Because I have all the websites open, I can just list them off and describe them.
Sure.
And we can pick one from each, and then we can kind of pull them up, eh?
Yep.
All right, so we'll start with Big Child. Big Child, I think, released this year. Katsumi, The Sword of Dawn. That's the most recent one, the 75 millimeter.
75 mil, yeah.
Idril Wisdom Star Bust, which is the one that Arno painted recently.
Yep.
The white lady with the falcon.
Yep.
We have Leonin the Oracle. This was the almost the drow looking character. She's very like purple skinned with like the 4 or 5 skulls around her waist.
Yep.
I'm just going to see if it's got a list for who painted it.
That one was what's his name? The Ruben.
Yep, cool, awesome. Yeah, it was. We got Captain Jew Bust, the swashbuckling pirate sort of queen character. Yeah, Liada the Oracle in 75 millimeter. Cat, the Witch's Apprentice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Captain Jew in 75. I think I know what you'll choose. You'll choose the Gatherer.
Which one's that?
Sariel. It's the lizard, the green lizard creature holding the orbs.
Oh yeah, but that one blew me away, not because of the model so much, but the paint job by Miguel, wasn't it? Miguel Minis did that one.
It's either Miguel or it might have been.
No. It was Vilches. It was Vilches.
Vilches.
It was Vilches, the fucker.
Yeah. All right. So, and then there was also John Hancock, Sighild, Celedriel, Moon Arrow. Actually, Big Child have put a massive showing in this year. They've released a lot of models.
That Celedriel is actually up there for me. That was a really nice model.
Have you picked this one up? You haven't yet, have you?
No.
You do like your elves. I quite like Sigurd as well. But I think I'm going to put for model. It's tough because it's model. You know what? I'm going to go left of center. I think Katsumi sort of drawn the latest one.
Well, I painted the bust version of that. And it's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to choose that for a big child. Are you going to go with the Gatherer, regardless of paint job? Or are you going to go with Celadriel, the Moon Arrow?
Moon Arrow.
Cool. Alrighty. Hera! Let's have a look at what Hera did this year.
It is indeed a... well, it's not fluoro green. It's green mixed with fluoro yellow. But, yes.
So Hera has done... Well, Hera's going to be a little bit different. A little bit more tricky. So Hera did Minnow. That's the most recent one. In Minotaur, painted by David Aroma. Velhor, the big demon bust. I think Andrus, the what looks kind of like a lichy sort of character, or undead sort of character out the front of a door. They did the big werewolf. I think that was this year. They did the dwarf.
The dwarf, yeah.
They did the dwarf. They also did the dwarf diorama with the two dwarfs fighting the troll.
Yeah. No, the dwarf's my pick.
Yeah, the one that Jared did.
Yeah.
Did a couple. Jared did it twice, I think, didn't you, Jared?
Did you do it twice, Jared?
He did. He did one in his diorama, I think, and then he did one by itself. Yeah, so for me, I'm actually going to go Minnow. I really like this bust. It's not for everyone. I think some of the feedback I've heard is that the head's a bit weird for people, but it does it for me. I like Beastman, man.
Yeah.
Start the David Aroba paint job on it to really get it over the line, and that does it for me. We should actually also say that Hera basically won our best model of last year with Rahel, right? We all agreed. Was that the one we chose as our absolute favourite, or we just chose as our favourite female bust?
I think that was favourite female bust, but I also think it was your favourite. You were frothing it. You were like, this is the fucking best.
Yeah. Maybe I was pushing it heavy.
You were.
Yeah. All right, Ignis, man. Ignis had a few things come out this year.
Yeah, Ignis had a good year.
It's going to be hard to figure out exactly what came out new this year. Was there anything from Ignis this year that stood out to you?
This will sound a little bit bad, but a lot of Ignis stuff just blurs in together for me. They're all just really good female sculpts that...
Well, they're all painted by Land as well, right?
Painted by Land, yeah, so they all just feel pretty similar to me.
I've got one I can put up from Ignis that I think you might jump in on. The Tea Party piece with the owl girl sitting in the middle having a cup of tea with all the owls around her.
No.
That one was very cool.
No. The only Ignis one that jumps out, I think that was last year. It's one of the mermaids.
Did you like the Archer that landed?
Yeah, she was okay.
Actually, Jade came out this year from Ignis, and so did Judgment. So Jade is the one with the headrest that Ridav was teaching on a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, okay. Is that the one Jared bought the physical figure of?
No, Jared bought the... Jared... No, that's a Rudik, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that is a Rudik. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Jade is that one, and then they also did Judgment, you know, the awesome one that Moses did.
Yeah.
With the big sword and the cloaked face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some pretty good ones came out of Ignis this year. Whether they'll contend for absolute best model, not sure. For Deno and Bucks' choice. Miniature choices. That's what we need. We need an awards night name, mate. The brogies. That's disgusting.
That's one of your best works. The brogies. The brogies for tonight.
The brogies. All right, on to an absolute favourite. Spira Mirabilis.
Well, I only
Mirabilis.
bought one Spira Mirabilis figure this year,
Yep.
so I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah, the 4 that we had this year was Hunter Orc, the Pied Piper, El Veil, Baba Lino, butcher that with my terrible Australian accent, the old man riding the tree, feeding the acorn to the little squirrel, and then we also had Mercenary Dwarf, that's in this year as well.
That's a no from me.
It's between Hunter Orc and Mercenary Dwarf.
Hunter Orc. Clear out now.
We can do Hunter Orc. We can do Hunter Orc sheerly based off the popularity of the sculpt. Almost everyone's painted it already. All right, your friends at Neko Galaxy.
Aha, Neko Pietrek. Well, since Neko and
Inu.
are the same, Inu were far more up my alley. So.
And was there any particular one from Inu that rocked you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they when did they arrive? When did they actually land in people's hands?
They arrived this year, and they had additional models come out for Inu this year as well.
Yeah.
But I think we did do Inu last year because the Kickstarter was last year, and you painted yours last year because you got them way early.
Yep. I did get them way early.
Yeah.
One of the advantages of being a fucking famous celebrity.
So that's why I thought we could probably fold in Neko, because more came out from the Neko side than...
Hard for me this year because I don't think I've bought a Neko or Inu figure other than the ones from my giant diorama, which are all ladies in cyberpunk futuristic world stuff. So I'll default to your choice here.
I'm going to probably go with... I like Henry, but Henry's been out for a short time. I think Alice Cross has been the big one that's come out of...
Yeah, she's the one most people are painting in their classes.
I think it is this year. Yeah. Alrighty. On we go to the Champions of Sona Kickstarter from Squidbar. This one will be a hotly contested one because there are 4 models in here that are just absolutely outstanding. 3 of them are orcs and 1 of them is a barbarian.
Orc barbarian for me.
Orc barbarian? There is no orc barbarian. Orc, there's Owl Rider.
No, not Owl Rider. No, the orc, the shaman guy.
Oh, with all the little animals around it.
Yeah, hang on.
The one that Eric did.
I gotta go look. Yeah,
because you've also got Zion and Scree, or what I think it's called, and then you've got that awesome barbarian that they did with the huge sword.
No, the orc standing on the tree.
Yeah, the orc standing on the tree. Well, I'm happy to. Yeah.
Well,
that's got to be it, right?
Orc standing on the tree, old man wizard, barbarian with his sword, fucking elf chick riding a fucking lion. You could pick any of those, and the owl. Yeah. You could pick any of those. That's a magnificent Kickstarter, by the way. I really.
So 100%. Let's just say that this is the best Kickstarter of the year.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope he brings out a whole bunch of these models with him for me to buy off him directly when he comes to Melbourne next year.
I feel that's unlikely, but we can hope.
Yep. I hope that a stockist in Melbourne bought heaps and heaps of them and is going to stock them in their shelf. Because
did you not get
I had to buy a new car when this Kickstarter went off, so I didn't get anything, and I'm quite sad.
Well, I was in the late pledge, not the late pledge, my $1 pledge, and I haven't sold it off yet. So if you want something, we can make that happen.
Nice. Can you get multiples of the same thing? You can, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. We should just get a couple of Zion and Squeeze and a couple of the Barbarians. What do you reckon?
I reckon that could be a pretty good go.
That's a nice little card.
Yeah.
I feel like for you, mate, the elf standing on the sword, this almost sci-fi elf on the sword, is a Deno model if ever I've seen one.
The more I see of those models, the more I'm like, wow, those are some absolute fucking bangers right there.
Yeah. All right. FER, or Fur, however you like it. They released a few really nice models this year.
Yeah, the only one that I painted is the one that I'm selecting for them.
Pardon?
The only figure that I painted is the one I'm selecting for them, the Agincourt Knight.
The French Knight?
Yep.
Yep. I'm happy with that one as well. I think that's a fantastic sculpt. And that probably represents about how much we dabble in historical.
Yeah.
Right? Just a couple of toes, just 3 toes in. 1 or 2. We're good for 1 or 2 a year.
I wouldn't mind having a bit more of a crack every now and then.
All right. Aradia. I think Aradia only had a couple of things that came out. Oh no, they had the big Kickstarter come out too, didn't they?
They did it. They did the Lizard Man Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the Lizard Man models. There's a couple of those Lizard Man models that I like.
Yeah, I think I like the one with the skink riding the sort of dino. That one was cool.
Yeah, that's the best one.
And whoever painted that and had that at both competitions this year, European competitions this year, that was a really cool take. So happy to go with that one. All right, Black Crow. Black Crow had 6 things come out this year, I think.
Did they?
I think they had Caranthea, the Elvish archer.
Yep.
They had Zog, the orc that David Aroba painted, the black ashen orc with the orangey undertone.
Yep. Athena, she wins.
Yep. Hold up though, because they also had Necro, Ragnar, and Odin, and Ragnar is Eric Swinson's dwarf riding pig.
Athena by a country mile.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Carol Rudick.
Is Blood Moon this year?
Is that all the vampires?
Yeah, I think so.
It definitely came out. The Kickstarter came out this year, didn't it?
I think so, yeah.
You also had All the Dragons came out this year. No, the Dragon was a Kickstarter from last year, but released this year.
I don't love his dragons. I've told him this. I said, man, I like dragons, but fucking hell, they're so big.
I love one of his dragons. The one that's on the wall.
Yeah.
That's a killer dragon.
Well, Chris Sure's done some awesome stuff with the dragons. He did the How to Train Your Dragon using that Nocturna figure sculpt. But yeah, yeah. But yeah, the dragons are really fucking big.
Semeth the Voracious, that is my pick. I love that model. If I ever paint a dragon, that'll be the dragon I paint.
Cool, man.
All right. Lastly, the last one I've got is Black Sun, and Black Sun did quite a few models toward the back end of this year.
Yeah, none of them did anything for me. I don't think they were all like the Russian version of Lucas, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. And so I'm probably going to choose Eunice of that, because I think Eunice was probably the best of the bunch, the old lady with the goose.
I was just about to say Mindworks and Chimera are 2 you've missed.
All right, let's go. Let's go to Mindworks.
I think Mindworks had some bangers this year.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Mindworks has got the Patrick J. Jones Army of the Damned bust. That is coming to big old Buxo. That's a model I want to pay. So a few came out from Mindworks. They had all of the Diner at the end of the Galaxy stuff come out, didn't they?
Yeah. My girlfriend's just messaging. I better message her.
Yeah. I quite love the Patrick J. Jones Solomon Loss. I think Mark Maskelyne painted a really...
The Patrick J. Jones stuff is top shelf.
Yeah, did Patrick J. Jones do Witchhorn as well? Was he the... Yeah.
Oh, actually, that might have been Brom. No, which...
I think it's which one because the logo is like Mindworks' brain, and then it's got Witchhorn's silhouette.
Yep.
I quite like the skeleton bust as well. What do you think about a skeleton bust? Yeah, it's an interesting concept.
Tricky to do.
Yeah. It'd be a good one to tackle in the future. But for me, Army of the Damned bust is my.
Yep. I'm
You
down
on
with
with
that.
that one?
Yeah, I'm down with that one. Yeah. The chick riding the broomstick was last year, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was last year.
Yeah.
She was a part of Prom.
Yeah.
And then from the diner at the end of the galaxy, you had the captain, the chef, and the medic, I think. All right, Chimera. Is that where what's it called came from?
What?
Pegaso World. That's where Hoverboard came from, isn't it?
No, that was Aradia and
that's
Chimera.
Aradia.
It's the both of them.
So I think the Jules bust bundle, the one that you got,
Yep.
on a spare at the moment, like on a whim, on a stream one night.
Yep. That was fun, and
Have you got them now? Have you received them?
yeah,
Yeah.
they could actually be the thing that gets me jazzed for getting back into the old display world. I'm feeling it. I'm going to knock over the vampires. There's only probably a couple of days left to work in them, and then I'll get into those jewels. I think. That might.
Benny's also calling for a Spear of Sunday. He's played the Spear of Sunday card on me on Sunday. He's like, so when is the next Spear of Sunday? I'm like, mate, you've been painting. All you've painted this year is Spears.
Yeah.
Every Sunday is a Spear for you.
Yeah. Learn to paint something else, you mug.
What did you think of the Lancelot model that just came out from Chimera?
I can't recall seeing it.
It's like he's on a horse, but he's not. It's super interesting. So he's mounted like he's on a horse, but there's no mount.
I don't remember it. Which is probably not a good sign.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't look at Chimera's models enough, personally.
That surprises me because I actually think Chimera do some of the most. They've got a style and they stick within it. But if you like that style, they're awesome.
Yeah, I should. I should just live in their barbarian section, right?
Yeah.
that mounted Celt, I believe. Ben Flood painted one, right?
Yep.
That was for that's a wonderful model.
Yep.
On sale right now too.
So, manufacturer of the year.
Manufacturer of the year. Ooh.
Champions of Sona.
Champions of Sona. I mean, we haven't seen the product yet, though.
Yep.
I want to see the product in my hand because when they're just 3D rents, and then professionally painted models.
Yep. Fair.
I'd be tempted to give it to Big Child on the sheer amount of stuff they've done this year.
Yeah, they've just been consistent this year, haven't they?
They really have. Yeah, I think. And I mean, I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can because I mean, a lot of these models I haven't chose to pick up myself, but I've seen a lot of these models get painted. And we didn't even, touch all of the models that were released this year. I mean, maybe Big Child just because of that, but then, I mean, it's got to be about personal choice as well.
It wouldn't be Big Child for me because they haven't released anything that's made me go, fuck yeah, I must have it this year. I haven't bought a single Big Child figure this year.
Yeah, fair. You bought a bunch of them, but not new ones.
Yep.
We bought a bunch of them for a diorama that we have to do
Yep.
in 2023.
It's happening.
Yeah.
So Rockets.
We can't let it become a meme.
Oh, mate. It won't become a meme. I'll do it. I will do it. You don't have to worry about that. You're the one I'm worried about.
You don't need to be worried about me. You know that.
I do know that, mate. Alright, I think I'm just going to do some dark
Do we have any votes from the people in chat tonight? Do we miss any companies that you'd like us to have a look at?
So would you say this was a better year than last year?
I'm actually going to say no. I think last year was a better year.
Oh, Mindworks Oz is a good shout. I did buy that.
I think my Mindwork Oz was the best pre-made diorama of the year for sure.
Yeah. The vampires lounging around throne.
Yeah, true. Pretty good. I think Oz was better though.
Yeah, I'm a very big fan of Oz, so. Favourite 3D printer kickstart? None. Until they can 3D print me a fucking painted model that's a piece of artwork, I'm not interested.
Oh, it's tough, mate. It's tough, this one. I mean, do we just go Spira? Because the Hunter Orc was probably the best model of the year.
Well, I don't think the Hunter Orc was the best model of the year. I'm going Champions of Sonar.
Alright. Even with blind faith, Champions of Sonar.
Yeah.
Well, you can go. We'll go. Hopeful Champions of Sonar, and then old consistent Big Child. How about that?
Deal.
Easy.
Deal.
All right. Favorite box art of the year.
Oh yeah, Veiled Lamp. Veiled Lamp's a good shout. I mean,
Yeah.
Moonface. Get it done.
Yeah.
Difficult model to paint, but a fantastic model.
Yeah, very true. Same with the Mayuki, is it? She's quite cool. But being that it seems Sebastian has been very, very busy on the sculpt, I think next year's going to be a good year for Seb. I think he's going to have a few things coming out. He's got at least 3 things, right?
Yep.
At least. All right, do you have a favourite box art from this year?
The dude from Vilches.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm actually going to put in Mark Maskelin's piece that he did for his classes.
Yeah.
The Woodsman.
Yep. That was pretty good. Was pretty special, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was quite stunning. And it's stunning in its subtlety. And once you sit and you look at it over and over and over, it's pretty insane.
That's Maskelin,
All right.
though, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, what's your favourite paint job of the year? Did we already do that? We did that already, didn't we? Your favourite paint job of the year?
Yeah, mine was...
You chose Alberto, yeah.
Albert's.
See, we forgot 2 pieces from Kirill, by the way, this year.
Did we?
Yep, he did the Eldar model.
Yeah, that wasn't my favourite, but it was good.
And then he recently did the cyber futuristic kind of soldier.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm comfortable with my selection of Albert. I think Albert's pieces were...
Awesome.
ridiculous.
Arnau did some wonderful paint jobs as well this year.
Yeah.
Arnau
Arnau has possibly turned into the best painter in the world. There could be an argument made for that.
Sure. I think it's the same 3 people at the top of that pile going back and forth.
Arnau, Kirill, and Lan?
I would have probably
You like
personally,
Maskelins.
you could put Mark in there, but I think Danilo should probably be in there as well.
No, Danilo's not in my top top 5.
He's pretty insane, man.
He is. But there'll never be a time when I pick a Danilo piece over a Ruben Martinez.
Yeah, well, that's fair. But that's just because, the Ruben fan club that streams on a Monday night from 8 o'clock is loud and proud, right?
Yup. Look at this, mate. It's 1 hour and 57 since the stream started, and what do we got here?
A painted Dormammu.
Dormammu.
Or Dormammu. All right, is that everything? Did we cover everything just then?
I think so.
Oh, no. We didn't do favourite. We didn't do Painter of the Year.
Oh, yeah, Painter of the Year.
So let's start by making a short list.
It's David.
5 people that can go into the category.
David Aroba.
David Aroba. Sure. Eric Swinson.
Yep.
Arnau.
Yep.
Mark.
Yep.
Did Mark do a lot of stuff this year?
No.
Cool.
But you include him in every list about best painters, so.
Are we putting Kirill in the last spot?
Sure. Well, I think Kirill's had a quiet year by Kirill's standards, but
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I was like, if they've had a quiet year, like,
yeah, no, it's Arnau, Aroba,
yeah,
Swinson. Yeah, it's probably for me. It's probably between those 3.
Yeah, sure. All right. I reckon. I think it's Arnau.
Yeah, you make a compelling argument.
When I think about everything that's been done this year, like, I want to say Aroba, right? But I think it's Arnau.
I could give a 3-way tie to those 3.
Shall we just do it? We can do it.
Yeah, it's our rules. Honestly, I think it's a 3-way tie because Arnau has done incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Mihails is also up there this year, actually. Colwell's not even fucking close to the top, mate. Colwell has not delivered anywhere near the volume of entries to be considered in this category. Not to mention, the guy sucks. Hear that, David? You suck. No, this will be controversial. He's never going to be in that conversation for me.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't ever do anything. Yeah, Sergio's a good one. G'day, Weetabix. Nalsack. Sergio's probably a good shout for anything.
Not for this year, I don't think.
I'm a huge Sergio fanboy, right? So everything I do is to try and get closer to Sergio. But Dave,
because you'd have Landon before Sergio.
I would probably put Lan in before Sergio for this reason. I feel like I can do what Sergio does.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever be able to do what Lan does.
Well, and Lan also painted heaps this year.
Yeah. Colwell, as much as I love the guy to death, he does not. I don't think I've seen him do anything where he's pushed himself out of the comfort zone of Dave. You know, this year's been maybe the first baby steps that I've seen of some stuff out of his comfort zone. And I think if we ever see him just cut sick and just throw.
I think because we're close to Dave, it obscures our perception a little bit. Because I sat with Dave and we had a conversation about different styles.
Yeah.
And we went back and looked through a bunch of his painting. And he really does actually have a lot of different styles and techniques on display.
Yeah.
More surrounding concept, particularly lighting concept and colour concept.
But his style just remains the same, mate. That's his problem.
But his style does remain the same. But is that a bad thing?
You could say
a lot of people's styles stay the same.
You could say the same about Lan. You could say the same about Lan, right?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Is it forever going to be the sterile nature of Dave's style of painting.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what happens when you become technically masterful, right?
Yeah.
And also maybe combine that with an inability to ever let yourself slide when something might be more of a creative or artistic endeavor in your painting and less of a technical proficiency on display. Which...
Now, I tell you, we should actually probably toss up his fucking Cormac as a model of the year.
Oh, his Cormac's got to be in there, actually. Like, yeah. And you know what? I thought about that all day today. I was like, don't forget to put Dave's Cormac in because that was the start of the year.
I would not put Will Hahn in the list, but I love Will. He's a wonderful painter and very good friend.
Sick Willie?
Sick Willie,
yeah. Sick Willie, yeah.
Yeah. Not Will Payne, Sick Willie.
Yeah.
So he'd be in the list.
He's had a great year this year, right?
He has had a great year. He did some really good stuff. Yeah. It's probably Anya this year.
Yeah. Which Anya got beat out last year, if you remember, didn't he?
Yeah. I tell you, Mikhail Shuzmenko has done some fucking banger stuff this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely banger stuff. He's rivaling Lan with the shit that he's bringing out on display. He's just absolutely tearing up at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's just, like, let's be honest, right? There's just so many wonderful painters.
Yes. Of which you and I are not in the list.
There's been good years for many.
Maybe we'll get on the list one day. Maybe.
You and I?
Yeah, maybe.
Nah, mate. Come on. We're on our own list.
That is true.
We're on a list of, like, you know, there are elite players who play sport, and then there are just hard workers.
Yeah.
We're in the hard workers category, you know? The team will never win a championship without us.
Yeah.
But we'll be standing up the back.
Yeah. We could also be on the registered sex offenders list as well, probably.
That's going a bit too far.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Maybe we're on the, the just get it done list.
Now, we're on the list of people who enjoy painting their little toy soldiers, mate.
Yeah.
And that's the only list I ever want to be a part of. So there's ever a point when I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah. I'm sure being on the list of someone who snagged a couple of golds at Monty would be nice too, though, mate.
That's certainly up there, yes.
Yeah.
I do hope to achieve that at some point. I don't think the next couple of years is likely.
Yeah,
but
you wait for a bit of a cool-off period.
But I will put myself in the mix at some point again in the future.
Well, I mean, I guess something we can sort of do now. We've looked at the year that's gone. We need to look at the year that's coming.
Yep. Goals for the year, is it?
The goals for the year. Hobby goals for the year.
Well, I was going to say paint a full Marvel Crisis Protocol collection, but that's probably going to be this year's goal.
Yeah, and also in the rearview mirror, mate.
Yup.
I think I'd like to find that really burning passion again for display painting this coming year.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think that'll come back after a couple of events.
Yeah.
And after this army painting sort of game painting bug fades out too.
Yeah. I don't see that as a goal. I can understand why it's a goal for you, but
yeah.
that'll come when it comes.
Yeah.
You know.
I think yeah, exactly right. I don't want to force that one. You know, if it doesn't come, it doesn't come, and I can live with that. Again, we paint to make ourselves happy, and I've been super happy painting this stuff, and
Yeah.
A Marvel, AMG, your mates Andy and Dano, sort them out, all right, sort us out,
Yeah.
put us on the list. Look, my goal for last year was to win a gold medal at an event, right?
Yep.
And I have done that back to back this year in the events that I've attended. And I think this year I said I'd like to compete for a best in show.
Yep.
I think I have some nice models already that can. I don't think I have to paint something new to compete in that category.
Agreed.
So I think maybe next year, if I don't grab it this year, that would probably be my one for next year for display painting. That might sound very confident or a bit egotistical. I don't mean it to, but it's the nature of having to predict the future. I don't think I will win a best in show this year, personally.
You might. Do I think I'll get into Star Wars Shatterpoint?
Yes.
Probably not. Probably not.
If it's a good game?
Still probably not. Let me caveat that. It'll depend on how I'm feeling about MCP at that juncture when it's released. If I'm enjoying MCP, probably unlikely. If I'm feeling a little bit burnt out at MCP, but still feeling the buzz for playing games, then maybe. But at this point in time, I think I'm probably
Pretty locked into MCP, right?
not that keen to push too much else into my poor brain.
That said, getting on a game real early when there's not much to do and you can just sort of like, you paint everything yet, and that'll probably take you 2 weeks, and then you could literally probably just paint almost every Shatterpoint new release that you're interested in, and it wouldn't take you more than a day each month, each couple of months.
The
upkeep,
Scarabos is right. Next year could be a trip to Monty for you and I.
Yes, that is true. Next year I need to go play with the big dogs overseas. Yeah, look, it's probably about time to get in the ring with the best painters in the world and see if I can hold my own. See if I can keep my feet underneath me. Some pretty amazing painters over there.
I think you would hold your head up high there, mate. I think you're easily in the mixture for a medal in the Masters category. Should you throw your hat into the ring?
Yeah, thanks, mate. I appreciate your confidence in me. If Dano could do it, I could. Yeah, but we actually paint very different things. We funnily enough, although I've learned an awful lot from Dano, we have quite different styles when we choose to go all out on things.
Yeah.
Dano goes for majesty and grandeur. Like you can see that even in his Monty entries, like his storytelling on his scale model challenge piece. The storytelling that he did on that was fantastic. And the painting was brilliant too. That's a little bit different to the path I go down. I think I get caught somewhere between the technical side of things, or maybe get a little more caught up in the technical side of things. I don't know. Do you think that's a fair statement, mate?
Yeah. My overall feedback for both you and Ben is that you spin your wheels too much on a lot of things.
Yeah.
You both just need to paint shit and do stuff because it feels right, and then not sit there overanalyzing every aspect of it. That's my observation about both of you. But
I think we both got better at that, though.
maybe. G'day, Covert Madness, fellow Brisbaneite, represent. There's a shop down at Loganholme called Irresistible Force. They keep some display models on the shelf, and they keep a variety of paints and supplies. You could go down there and check out some stuff. If you're looking to get something specific, Stonebeard Miniatures, which is an online web store based in Australia, keeps a whole variety of display figures on the shelf that might tickle your fancy. Great friend of the show.
More about, more interested in historical stuff. You've got Spec Mod.
Yep. But I would say that, mate, you're living in a wonderful time to be coming back into the hobby, because there's a huge amount of resources on the internet that will help you in many, many ways that we never had access to years ago. Andy and I have both been painting for about as long as you quit for. We've been both painting for 20 odd years.
Or at least been around it. I did have a very, very long break from it, but stayed in contact with it. So, yeah, I can identify with both sides of it.
Quitters for weak fuckers. So.
Yeah. Fucking, it was a good eight years, mate, of no painting.
Yeah.
It was shit.
So
how much fucking wasted time, right?
Yeah. You are so weak.
Yeah. Yeah, so going over could be a lot of fun.
I would go over again in a heartbeat. I don't know if I would be in the headspace to try and paint something to that standard again at this point in time. But I would go over in a heartbeat.
Well, you've already built so many relationships with people that'll be there as well, right? So you get to see a lot of friends and just be a part of the experience.
Yeah, the Monty experience is special, mate. So, which I hope you'll get to share with me.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Turn it into an MCP event, and just run up.
You and I'll set up a table in the room and play MCP all weekend. Yeah, boy.
Yeah. We played 3 games last week, mate.
You did.
I think we've sort of had a good chunk of chat about display painting. We can go back on to some gaming now.
MCP, baby. Yeah, that's cool that you played 3 games. That's awesome.
No, you played 3 games, didn't you? On stream?
No. Oh, yeah, I played 3 games on stream. I played 6 games last week.
Yeah, nice. I only played 2 last week. No, one game last week.
Yeah, no, it's good. Very good. Good. Rockets booked herself a hotel in Cardiff.
Oh, awesome.
So instead of going to Reykjavik, she's now going to the lovely country of Wales. Yeah, no, it's a very, very good game. The crises changes have added some new challenges, which is a good thing for me. Not because I was feeling like I'd
much needed dynamic.
Yeah, not because I felt like I'd solved anything or anything like that, but just it puts me on the same level as everyone else.
Yeah. Restart's always important, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's
brings
bad.
Everyone back into line and learning again.
Bad news for everyone else, mate.
Yeah, you'll have to let me in, mate. I haven't dropped a game yet, but I've only been playing against one mate. And I think my mate's pretty close to figuring it all out. He just plays with his heart a little bit too much and loves smashing stuff, and it's the most scenario-based game ever.
Yeah.
If you're not playing scenario, you're not going to win.
We should get onto TTS, have a game.
Yep. I'll get it sorted.
Hulk smash.
you got any closer to finding your home?
No, not yet, not yet. The games I played last week were actually using A-Force, and they were surprisingly fun. I enjoyed them more than I thought I would. She-Hulk was great.
Did you
fun.
play Captain Marvel as well?
I played She-Hulk, Captain Marvel in one game, and then also played She-Hulk and Angela in another game.
Angela's pretty good, eh?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. She's so fast.
So fast, yeah. So there was some good stuff with the A-Force. So I'll give them a.
What 2 threats do you get options to in A-Force? Is it just Widow, or can you get
Widow.
Badger as well?
Just Widow. Yeah.
Just Widow. Okay. So you're probably are you going big rather than wide? Well, yeah, of course, right. If you're taking She-Hulk.
Yeah, you have to with She-Hulk as your leader. There's hopes that Spider-Woman might be a A-Force leader, I think.
Yeah.
But probably unlikely.
Couple of few announcements coming out of AMG.
Oh yeah.
We got 4 new models basically.
We've got Rhino,
Beta Ray Bill, Agent Venom, and Spider-Woman, and Rhino.
Yep, Rhino. Yep. The new scenarios, and then Shatterpoint, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, good times. Look at this. This is awesome. I got fucking Hulk. I got Dormammu. I got Amazing Spider-Man. I got Little Spider-Man.
We'll zoom out a bit.
All right, yeah, I'll just do this.
Yeah.
Hulk smash.
I think I'm really quite in love, and maybe it's crutching up a little bit, but Crim Syndicate just feel good, mate. It's like real good to play.
Yeah. See how sketchy this shit is, right? Look at how harsh those lines are. Just zoom out.
It works.
Just look at that. See the difference?
Yeah.
You don't even see those sketchiness. All you see is the really nice fucking contrast. That's the thing I'm trying to tell people all the fucking time. Just because it looks like this at this scale doesn't mean.
Yeah. Yes, correct. You've got to play the right game, right?
Yeah.
Are the OG MCP models as much of a pitter as to assemble as people say? Some of them are, man. Some of them are really tough out of the first box set. Really annoying. Ultron's really annoying. A couple of the smaller female characters can be quite irritating. Some of the lineups aren't particularly great. However, they have got considerably better as time goes on. Their latest, like their most recent ones, are absolutely fine. No real problems at all.
Absolutely concur with everything Andrew has just said.
I think they got caught up in some of the, like, when they were really doing like tons of models with effects around them and spells and things like that, is where they started to get a little bit dicey. I think, for example, Scarlet Witch's joining point is horrific. You've got to bolster it. I think Trent came up with a pretty unique way to do. Well, I wouldn't say unique, but a pretty good solve being some brass rod and then resculpting some flames. You did that for Scarlet. You did it for Mordo as well.
Yep. Yeah. Any of the ones with the really floppy bits, I've just done that, and they've worked awesome.
Yeah, Darkstar is probably a culprit for probably putting a little bit of that in, and maybe Crystal too. She's a little bit bouncy.
Well, I now have Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen to go for my full Web Warriors list.
Sick.
And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Avengers sitting over there assembled and ready to paint.
It's the Avengers, hey? I don't know. They just don't do it.
No, there's a couple of good models in there. Like Falcon's awesome, War Machine's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Marvel will be fun, but the rest of them all look a bit naff. But in the mail, I've got Fury, Blob and Pyro, and
you got Blob and Pyro?
Yeah, I got Blob and Pyro, and Fury, and I think I got 1 or 2 others. Oh yeah, I got Shuri and Okoye.
Wait, yeah. Have you got Panther yet?
Yeah, got him and Killmonger.
Panther and Killmonger?
Yeah, I painted Killmonger yesterday.
Alright, so let's go through the list of things that Dano's painted. Zemo.
Yeah, this is
Zemo, Widow, Captain America, Marvel.
this is not happening because I'm just going to show you my spreadsheet because
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
you literally could not.
Yeah, it's better to pick what you haven't painted. We'll be here forever.
Yeah. All right, turn that on. There it is. Look at this. Wonderful. All right, I'll just move that to the center. So, that's fine. You don't need to see
Why do you put 50 on the base or 65? Is that just base size?
That's base size, so I know because I do all my bases with the filling in the bottom. I just like to pre-make quite a few bases, so I know. So anyway,
them all. Yeah.
So the first column is if I own it. The second column is if I've built it. The third column is if I've painted it, which I'm going to update right now. Amazing Spider-Man, yes. Dormammu, yes. Spider-Man, yes. Not Miles Morales, it's the other one. Yep, so there you go. I've now painted 83.
Have you painted Scourge? You have, haven't you?
I have, yeah, I've done Scourge.
Scourge is a really nice model to paint, isn't he?
Really good, really good. Here, I'll just do this. It's probably easier. Yes, anyway, that's my list. And then over here I've got my percentages. So of the total range, I've collected 76% of all of MCP models. Of the ones that I've collected, I've assembled 93%, but the others are still in the mail, so they'll be assembled tomorrow. I've painted 82% of my collection. That's a good feeling. And I've played 62% of those models in a game. I've played as them. So,
right.
So the next ones, these are the ones that I still would like to buy. Logan and Apex Predator.
Yep.
The two Sentinels, Mr. Sinister, and maybe Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos. I haven't got on any of these ones yet. I haven't got on the fucking Inhumans. And
you haven't done Inhumans? Yeah, you haven't gone near.
I haven't gone on the Russians.
You literally haven't done half the ones that I've done.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done the majority of what you haven't painted.
Yeah.
Funnily enough.
Yeah. So, and Guardians, and I think at this point, I'm probably just all in, right?
I think you're gonna paint it.
I think I'll paint them all. So
it'd be a lovely place to be in where you've painted everything, and you will you'll have to paint a couple of models a month or a quarter, and just be able to upkeep the game really easily.
Let's do this. I'll just show you a little sneak peek of the new shelf. Well, it's not new, but all right. Sorry for the crazy spinning. Let's. I might need to.
Oh shit! Look, there's that hand.
No. That'd be ridiculous.
We found Sibylla's hand.
So that's the shelf above the painting area, and this is the shelf over here.
Nice little blacked out area. Yeah, look at that.
That's all fucking MCP models, all painted. Hulkbuster Sentinels, fucking everything. So, I do.
Yeah, I think Tread does magnetise his stuff, mate.
I do, yeah. Every single model over there is magnetised, has, I'll show you. This is what the bases look like, all of them. Underneath, they're, good work, Dino. Turn that fucking shit down. Yeah, they're all filled in with putty. And then magnetised and smoothed, nice and smooth. So it adds a lovely weighted feel to the bases. So when you're playing with them, you can bump them and they don't really tip over, which is awesome. And yeah, they're magnetised so you can transport them easily. They feel smooth and nice. I fucking love sanding these bases. It's like ASMR shit, man.
It's a weird kink, pal. It's a weird kink, but
But you feel all the models, man. You feel them all when you play them. You're just like, slides along a neoprene.
I can guarantee you, everyone who's watching, when we play a game together in person, he's going to have me feel these bases for sure. Yeah. He's going to be like, feel the bottom of this, mate.
If you don't agree with me after it, I'll be fucking shocked.
Yeah.
It's just, it's nice stuff. Oof, I feel it.
Alright, well, I think I've painted Beast tonight. I mean, you paint blue, and then I'm going to paint his trunks and his belt and his poles, but outside of that, pretty much it.
Good job, mate. All right. Well, thank you for joining me this year, mate. We've certainly made Monday nights a bit more of a regular thing, which has been nice to share the streaming experience with someone.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we've got plans to clean up the stream a little bit on my end and make sure that cameras work a little bit more efficiently and effectively, and we get better views. You'll be able to even have a look at the setup when you're down here as well.
Yeah.
Maybe have some pointers. But no, it's been really good. Thanks for having me on and let me come in and have a chat and talk to our friends as well. It's good.
So
I enjoy doing it.
I'll probably do a few more streams before the end of the year, but generally January I take a little bit of time off to focus on preparation for the Crimson Brush. So we may not be doing too much streaming in January, friends. So I'll probably get on once or twice, I think, definitely, because there'll be
Some games and stuff.
board games and stuff that I'll probably stream, and there'll be a few little bits and bobs I want to paint probably, but yeah,
We will do a recap as well at the end. We'll do a Crimson Brush recap
we will.
Monday after, which will be still in January. I think it'll still be January, won't it? It'll be almost the last week of January.
It will.
Or first week of Feb.
It will. All right, I think tonight we will raid. I don't see too many people on there, but there's a dude called Count Bug. Let's go and have a look at Count Bug. What's he doing? Just gonna have a look. He's only got for 18 followers. What are you painting, Count Bug? He's painting Warhammer. That's a good start. Oh, he's raising money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital Monday charity. I'm in. Get in. Get amongst it. On your bug. Doing your best work, mate. Alright, friends. See you again sometime. Maybe next year.
Yeah. Will be a fresh year of display painting and things on the horizon. There's always exciting things to come, and we have a diorama at some point planned. There'll be a few next year.
There will.
This madman has got some big plans for some big dioramas.
Yeah, so next year we're gonna do the Cyberpunk City, and maybe do two next year. We'll see.
Yeah, to all our friends who watch along, that'll be at CB. We're looking forward to catching up and seeing you. There's probably some who don't put themselves in the chat as much, but I know watch. So looking forward to meeting new people there, and looking forward to covering it. It's going to be a bit of fun.
It'll be good. All right, friends. Speak to you all again next year or later on in the week if I feel like it. See ya. See you, Buck.
See ya.